Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, World Alternative Media here. And AI is obviously one of the biggest things that we are facing down right now as far as job loss. Though Elon Musk says, don't worry, you'll get guaranteed basic income, the World Economic Forum's goal. The New York Post says McDonald's to employ AI at 43K locations to speed up service. Technology solutions will alleviate the stress, they say. No, they've been working towards this for a while. The autonomous McDonald's robots. I mean, I remember seeing stuff like that in China when I was researching this years and years ago, back in like 2013, 2014, and saying, hey, it's coming to a place near you. And people said, that's crazy. That's conspiracy theory. Well, now it is coming to a place near you. As many as 41% of employers plan to use AI to replace roles, but it's not a jobs apocalypse, experts say, because again, they're pushing guaranteed basic income like Elon Musk and the World Economic Forum. All the while, oil hits 2-week low as China's DeepSeek AI spurs demand fears. And of course, a lot of talk about this. Texas would need an equivalent of 30 nuclear reactors by 2030 to power AI data centers. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. We're seeing the push for Stargate with $500 billion, not to mention mRNA cancer vaccines. We're going to go into this and more today, my friends. Before we do, I urge you to check that link below. Those links below. We have just started a new March 2025 fundraiser for World Alternative Media. It's still pending status, but by the time this video is up, it should be good to go. We need your help, my friends. We are facing bankruptcy again because we continue to be consistent. And I've always said I'll do this from park benches if I need to. But at the end of the day, we have been absolutely devastated in recent days. The alternative platforms are shutting us down because we're not going along with the alternative narrative. We are just trying to be consistent and tell you the truth and bring that information to you so you can do something with it and utilize the solutions. So we are getting hurt badly right now. So if you want to help support us, we really, really could use your help. There is the March 2025 fundraiser linked in the description from Go Get Funding. If it is not ready by the time this video is up, well, we have other gogetfunding.com options below as well as other donation options. Also, check out and get prepared with whambeef.com for 10 plus year shelf life freeze-dried steak, 12 servings per bag. They're going for food rations, my friends, and a big part of it is this AI push. So there's freeze-dried beef, there's freeze-dried chicken as well. And of course, you could use code WAMBEEF, WAMBEEF, all one word, and get 20% off on your order. Stock up today so you aren't eating that mRNA later. This is guaranteed no mRNA jabs, no lab-grown meat, etc. So check it out below. That's whambeef.com. Now let's get into this. McDonald's to employ AI, artificial intelligence, at 43,000 locations to speed up service. Technology solutions will alleviate stress, they say, of New York Post. It's absurd. We know where this agenda is going. It says McDonald's is the latest fast food restaurant to use artificial intelligence to step up its game. The fast food giant is overhauling all 43,000 restaurants with an AI makeover in an attempt to cut wait times and make better experience for both customers and employees. Now, it's not going to be good for the employees because they're going to have to lose their job. And we're already in an employment crisis. We're in an inflation crisis, which continues to ramp up. And by the way, McDonald's shut down all American administrative offices last year, as I reported on at the time. So this is just another example of that shift into like destroying the Western Empire in favor of the East. It's a massive power shift, which, of course, Klaus Schwab says the role model for the Great Reset is China. There's a shift to the East, my friends. It says, and it's, by the way, it's all by design. It says upgrades will start with internet-connected kitchen equipment, AI-enabled drive-thrus, and AI-powered tools for managers to help make sure that orders are accurate and so restaurants can predict equipment issues before they shut down. And by the way, like with the drive-thru option, that's a massive amount of jobs gone. And you'll also end up with like people pranking the AI. We've already seen that on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook Reels, etc. People tricking AI generated drive-thrus, and it then leads to a person having to deal with it, and then it actually causes more gridlock. Nonetheless, I mean, maybe it'll speak better English than the H-1B visa Indians that work at McDonald's now, but it's still going to cause a massive gridlock for that. To accomplish this mission, it says the company tapped Google Cloud in late 2023 to implement more computing power in restaurants, allowing them to process and analyze data on site, known as edge computing. The setup is generally a faster and cheaper option than sending the data to the cloud. Suppliers have already begun to install sensors on the equipment that will ultimately give the data to the system and allow employees to see the restaurant is operating in real time. So again, this is just absurd. We know where this is going. They always try and decorate it and make and spruce it up and act like it's such a great thing. It's so convenient. Tyranny comes under the guise of convenience, my friends. I mean, it's what the World Economic Forum has been saying for a long time. As many as 41% of employers plan to use AI to replace roles, but it's not a jobs apocalypse, experts say. And the World Economic Forum's 2025 Future of Jobs report found that as many as 41% of employers were planning on downsizing their workforce due to AI. That number is even higher in the United States, where 48% of respondents said they were planning on adopting the strategy. Well, Elon Musk says, don't worry about that. He says, I don't think we're going to have a choice. Elon Musk predicts universal income will eventually be high, but fears people will feel useless. But nonetheless, he's the one developing it. He's always like, AI is going to destroy humanity. But by the way, I'm developing it more than anyone else. Elon Musk predicts universal basic income will take off once AI replaces workers. And he's been pushing UBI for a long time, same with carbon taxes, including very, very, very recently. Like the first example I just gave here from Yahoo Finance, if I'm talking about this, is from February 26, 2025, my friends. It is recent. So to those of you saying, oh, well, he said a lot of things a long time ago. No, this is like a couple weeks ago. And this is happening as oil hits 2-week lows as China's DeepSeek AI spurs demand fears. Texas needs an equivalent of 30 nuclear reactors by 2030 to power AI data centers, but it's never supposed to be convenient for the overall infrastructure. It's supposed to be convenient for the population so that everyone gets on their knees and stops being independent. That's always been the goal. So, like, yeah, there's all these problems. There's all those problems with 5G too, but of course, it doesn't matter because they'll install it. They know it's inefficient as hell. They know that they can't actually install 5G everywhere, but they know it's bad for your health and they know it can be utilized in a track and trace system. The Stargate project, Trump touts $500 billion bid for AI dominance. Remember, he did this on the second day in office with Sam Altman, Larry Ellison, the CEO of SoftBank. All the while, other technocrats like Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg and the CEO of Google are lined up behind him, as well as obviously Elon Musk, the most obvious one, who's developing social credit and he's registering X as a bank and trying to put chips in your brain attached to Pentagon-funded mesh networks. But of course, that's always been the goal. And in this, he pushed mRNA cancer vaccines. I mean, it couldn't be more obvious what's going on. Whether he knows it or not, he's being utilized to bring in the New World Order. He's a Trojan horse. Again, I'm not sure he knows any of this. It's an Israel First cabinet held by blackmail by Israel through Epstein and all these other people. Again, Elon Musk says AI will destroy humanity and destroy mankind. And so therefore, he's the number one person developing it and wants to put robots in your home that'll do the dishes and do your laundry. But it's so convenient, he says. Don't worry, it's cheap too. Obviously, self-driving cars that bring you to the gulag that you can't shoot your way out of because they have bulletproof windows. People have no idea what they're walking into here. And of course, this all with the UBI and everything, this all goes back to something, and I've been talking about this for decades, but this all goes back to the idea of dependence. Yuval Noah Harari said himself that that he dreams, his dream for mankind, or the lack thereof, really, is that everyone's placated on video games or placated on drugs playing video games, drooling essentially, useless eaters, as Henry Kissinger would say. And it's been speeding up at such a scale right now. Of course, it's being utilized in farming, the most independent work that you could find. And it's being utilized to decide what people's social credit and carbon credit scores are. The United Nations Pact for the Future was pushed forward in September with 193 countries signing on to it. which will determine whether you're allowed to access your money in your bank account versus via how you talk about government, how you feel about government, how you vote, how whatever you might do, your views on the narratives that are being pushed. I know my social credit will be very badly, affected. It's going to be very low, if anything. I'm probably just going to be put in a prison. But then there's like carbon credits on this. There's a social credit on this. It's all utilized through social media, of course. This is where everyone just gives up all their information. And then via cell phones to track and trace you everywhere, and via your credit cards, which will tell them exactly everything you're buying and purchasing, etc. And with that, a digital ID on a CBDC attached to carbon credit, social credits determining your food rations or grid rations or internet rations after false flag cyber attacks for your security, they'll say, and 15-minute cities, all tracking and tracing your every move. And it's unraveling fast, very fast. I've seen it for myself in Oxford, UK, as they were developing the 15-minute cities there. I still have to work on that documentary, but it's been a nightmare because I've been sabotaged left and right, hit with legal issues, ghosted by massive community groups where I travel everywhere I go, and then I end up bankrupt. So back to square one, and I still have to license all this stuff for the documentary. So, another reason why you should check that donation link below. But anyway, we have seen a shift towards transhumanism at a scale we have never seen before. And a part of it is weakening the West in favor of the East, but the East is already technocratic, but in a different way. Like the Chinese have been trying to ban effeminate men from television while it's been pushed on people in the West to a big scale after years of making their men effeminate. It's a massive shift. It's kind of like an exchange, really. And now we're seeing the weakness of the West on full display. And of course, okay, well, Trump is pushing back against that and the trans children agenda. Well, it's already done so much damage. And yeah, the woke culture is dead, but now they're shifting into the new narrative, which of course will still keep people on their knees to the whatever narrative that they want. One road goes like this and goes to Rome. The other road goes like this and then goes to Rome, and no one steps out of line. Builds their own gravel road that's a little bumpy, a little inconvenient, a little slower, but that's the idea, because of course the solutions aren't going to be, super easy and super accessible. Unfortunately, people expect the solutions to just be handed to them by the state, which created the problem in the first place. Look, there's a shadow government that's holding all the governments of the world through via blackmail, and at the point of the gun, basically threatening them and their families, and shifting the narrative from one thing that's now lost. People are sick of the woke cultures. People are sick of all that and good. But of course, they're moving on to the next thing. I know this other side's so based. They just happen to be doing the same thing with biometrics on migrants and national IDs after they sent CIA to countries, caused all these problems, and people come to the United States in through mass migration, which of course is a problem, but they're offered welfare and they're offered all this stuff. And then they're pushed out and they're given biometrics. And now we have a new Trojan horse. The same goes for, again, the internet IDs. We don't want children on certain websites. Well, that's good, except for there's much more to it. You end up with internet IDs where everyone has to do KYC, know your customer, on every website, or just have a blueprint attached as an extension on your computer browser. Privacy is out the door. And so we're seeing that. We're seeing the idea of the destruction of food supply worldwide and the grid, of course, through war, the push for civil war, all ways to bring in emergency orders and force this stuff, regardless of what any president says. And we've seen it being utilized as a litmus test via social media for years. And then with the COVID thing, of course, that big hoax, we saw like the World Economic Forum in 2022 saying themselves that it was a litmus test for compliance to bring in 15-minute cities in this technocratic grid. I mean, Anthony Sutton was saying it in the 70s. So was our friend Patrick Wood, Trilaterals Over Washington. I have the book behind me. Actually, may as well pull it out right here. So this is Trilaterals Over Washington, volumes 1 and 2. Patrick Wood and Anthony C. Sutton. Highly recommend it. I had this book before. I had to recently buy another copy of it because I lost it in a move. But again, it's right in front of our eyes. They're manipulating us. They are psychologically programming people to think that one thing over here is a solution to this thing over here when they're just two arms of the same beast. And we need to withdraw from the system as much as possible and be independent free human beings. That is the basis of humanity, is independence, individualism. So that is the basis of freedom itself. It's synonymous. So for that reason, as always, I say, okay, we have all these problems, the AI, the food rations, the technocracy, but then the solution is stocking up on food, stocking up on, outside of the monetary system that we see today, gold, silver, privacy coins, in my opinion, like things like Epic Cash, Pirate Chain, whatever it might be, withdrawing from the system so that you aren't dependent on it. It seems so obvious, right? But of course, people want to look for the easy way out, and it's actually usually just a new trickle way in, like a Trojan horse, like I mentioned. So I urge people to check those links below and get prepared today. We have whambeef.com for 10 plus year shelf life, freeze dried steak, 12 servings per bag. Again, there's freeze dried chicken as well. Stock up, make sure that you have this, because again, they don't want you eating meat. They want to completely control your food intake. And this guarantees that that won't happen to you. It's like almost like the solutions are pretty easy. No mRNA jabs, no lab grown meat, all guaranteed, all American beef, 100% natural. Code WAMBEEF, WAMBEEF, all one word, will get you 20% off. We have heavensharvest.com for long-term storable foods that are non-GMO. There's organic kits, heirloom seeds, water filtration and storage, books on how to get started. Use code WAM, W-A-M, and you will get 5% off as well as free shipping on this. So again, this is a no-brainer. Not one person has purchased this in the last about 30 days. I know, I can see. And it's like very concerning to me that like people are just going to, they want to complain, but they don't want to actually do anything to protect themselves. This is an investment long-term in your health, in your sustainability, in your family's future. So I urge you to please check that below, heavensharvest.com, code WAM, W-A-M. Also, help local farmers while helping yourself. Use our link for wild pastures and get 20% off for life, plus $15 off your first box of 100% grass-fed and finished beef, pasture-raised pork, pasture-raised chicken, and wild-caught seafood. No mRNA, no GMOs, hormones, antibiotics, steroids, feedlots, pesticides, or any other chemical. All raised on regenerative family farms in 48 U.S. states, delivered to your door, temperature-controlled and customizable as you see fit. It helps support the farmers. It helps in your local area. It helps support you as far as monetarily and as far as obviously your health goes, because there's forever chemicals in the meat at your local grocery store. And on top of that, it's GMO, and they're finding traces of mRNA and modified RNA. So like, this is just an open solution to everyone out there, and I hope people take it seriously. Also, avoid CBDCs by going and checking out firstnationalbullion.com/schedule-consult/. It has to be that exact link. It is in the description of our videos on Rumble and BitChute at World Alternative Media. If you do that, if you go to that link, you'll be able to buy physical gold, silver, platinum, or palladium, hold it in your hands, put it in a vault, or put it in an IRA outside of the traditional IRA systems. And you'll be able to schedule an appointment with our friend Mark Gonzalez, who does a lot of videos with us, and get a complimentary investors package. Let him know in the comments section that you found him at World Alternative Media, or WAM, W-A-M. And I know you'll appreciate it because it's like a way out for you monetarily. So go and check it out. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we need any help that we can get. So we're going to leave that gogetfunding.com link in the description. Anything helps to keep us up and running, my friends. So help us and support us in our March 2025 fundraiser. We truly appreciate it. We also have Patreon and Subscribestar, where if you pledge $4.99 a month or more, you'll get exclusive content. Same with on X or Twitter at World Alt Media. $5 a month subscriber or subscription helps us. We have of course, a PayPal address, ancientwonderstelevision@gmail.com, and a Bitcoin address that you could scan right here. It's also on our Go Get Funding campaign. But anyway, you can donate through that on the screen by scanning it or checking out the address in the description. We have a Cointree link with a bunch of different cryptocurrencies that you can donate in if you please, including privacy coins. So that obviously helps a lot. And we have a Teespring store. with a bunch of merchandise. One more thing as far as health goes, check out rncstore.com, Richardson Nutritional Center, your source for Laetrile online, made famous by G. Edward Griffin's book, World Without Cancer. Get your apricot seeds, Laetrile, amygdalin, and vitamin B17 there. Use code JOSH, JOSH, and save money on this. Again, when they're trying to push mRNA cancer vaccines, they're trying to kill you. Just look for real alternatives out there. You can find us on Telegram, Rockfin, Band.video, BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, and Brighteon at World Alternative Media. We're on Hive, Steemit, and Vigilante.tv at Josh Sigurdson. And on the Bad Guys TikTok and Instagram, World Alternative Media, Twitter and Getter at World Alt Media, and all the major podcast platforms except for Spotify, where, of course, we're banned. No shock there. Hit that like button, share on social media, hit the notification bell, and hit subscribe if you have not yet already. And as always, my friends, live freely, live by example always. That's what they're trying to take away from us, and we need to actually push back in that way as a free, independent human being. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.